All right, welcome back, everybody. Sorry it's been so long since we've posted a video, but we've been busier than a mosquito at a nudist beach. So, we're going to change some things up because we've been extremely busy. I don't see it letting up in any time soon. So, some people have been interested about the scrap part of the videos, and some people are interested about the metal melting part of the videos. So what we're going to start doing is we're going to make one video about the scrap out, so when people have questions they can ask about that, and then the next video, when we can make it, when we have time, we'll be taking those said items and melting them down and making something out of them. So bear with us as we change gears on how we're going to do stuff and how life seems to present certain issues, like with the house we're trying to buy. But this is an extreme job site power box. Now what it does is they bring in 220 3-phase into this side, then they can come out of the other side with it to feed another box down the line. And it has 220 outlets, it has 110 outlets in it, and its own little breaker box. Can you see that? It's got its own breakers. Now what happened to this one was that we were using it on the job, and we were running 2 welders off of it and a plasma cutter. Well, it fried this box, so hopefully we'll see what happened. But I mean, this is a good indication right there. Now this would be the incoming side, I think. This is the incoming side of the 223 phase. So I think that's probably what started it. Now what I'm hoping for, seeing all these bolts and everything on the bottom, I'm hoping this thing has a bunch of copper transformers in it. So we will tear this apart. Oh, to mention, we on the job we call these things turtles, because when they're turned around they kind of look like a turtle. But when I worked out in Seattle, they called them spiders, because once all the cords start coming off, it kind of looks like a spider. But anyways, they right now is steel, just steel. It's roughly 32 pounds. So at this point, all you would get was $2.88 at my current price at the yard, which is 9 cents a pound. So we're going to go ahead and try to see what else money we can make out of this thing besides $2.80. All righty. Save these screws. All right, moment of truth here. Well, I don't see any transformers in there. How in the world? But there's some good stuff in there, some good wire. Boy, I was hoping this thing would be so sexy you wouldn't even need to drink a 6-pack to look at it, but we're gonna pull all this out and we'll see what's what. Okay, so now as you can see, each outlet, which that one looks even bad, has their own GFCI. So it's going to be interesting to see what's in here. It's its own breakers for the whole thing. So if you scrap or you've seen some videos, you know that there's silver contacts in these. So we're going to get all this stuff. But give us a couple more seconds. We're going to get all the wire out and everything, and then really start to take a look at what we got going on. All right, so here's what we got. It wasn't what I was expecting, but, you know, hey, when you don't have a lot of money, but you have time, as a business standpoint, I see why they were just going to throw it in the shred dumpster. But even these ends, we're going to strip all this wire. I still got to get them out of the GFCIs, so we're going to see what's in there. And then I scratched one of these ends. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that on camera or not, but these are copper too. So that's going to be number 2 copper also. So these have the Torx ends in there with the vandal-proof deal in there. I don't have one that's small. So it's going to be the Smash-O-Matic on these to see what's inside. All right. So like I said, Smash-O-Matic. Oh, heck. She ain't going to like that. Alrighty, so there's where all the little deals were at. That's gonna be a mess, huh? Alright, let's take a look at one of these here real quick. Now this is in a GFCI. You're gonna have your cord. I'm gonna grab my cutter real quick so we can get the good stuff off here. That's the big money stuff, Junior. Alright. So, I've never actually tore one of these open before out of something like this. But you got yourself a little board. It looks like some coppers and so some silver contacts right there and a little copper, almost look like a solenoid. So, this would be, right now as it sits, oh, there's even some tantalums on there. Look at that. They're small, but they're there. Right now at my yard, this would be a power board or low grade board, whatever you want to say. So that's 38 cents a pound. Even if I were to take this off, this will still be 38 cents a pound. Okay, so as you guys seen, this is what we got out of those GFCIs. Now, this was a stroke of luck. It's not like I knew it, but this is why you check stuff. Take these buttons off, okay? And some people might giggle, but you open that up, there's a little piece of brass in there, okay? And if you know anything about brass, you know it's got some weight to it and it's worth some money. So where did I go with that? All right, there we go. Now these, I pulled on one way. They're almost like plugged in. So if you go against the board like this, they come off. There's some contacts or plug-ins on the board that it almost plugs into right here. So we'll be getting those off. But this, when you open it up, you can see that there's silver contacts right there. Now, I don't know what these are worth. All I know is the lower grade ones I save in a jar, and then like the higher grade ones like these out of industrial circuit breakers and stuff that have a bigger, ooh, almost threw that one right away, didn't I, Junior? You know, with a bigger piece of it on there, I keep separate. I have no clue what the value is. The only value it is to me right now is number 2 copper or brass. So, judging from that is where you can go with that stuff. But this little doohickeys, one had copper. This one is copper also. Okay, these 2 little wires. So, strip that little casing off. Oh, wrong one. Remind me to get that out of there, would you? All right, and then this part here left over is magnetic. So, into that. Now, this solenoid looking deal. I'll hold it like that. You get that plastic off eventually. Right here. Grab a hold of that sucker. Choke up on it. And just peel it right off. That's metal also. But get this little piece of plastic off as cleanly as possible. If some of it's left up on it, some of the copper will snag up on it, which isn't the end of the world, but it just makes for a harder deal. You just start pulling. As you can see, there's some plastic left on there, so it's going to give a fight. But we will put that in there. Probably should have took the tape off first, too. What do you think, Junior? That would have made it easier? Yeah. Okay. So this one thing just went to a mess. I said that's all because of that little plastic on the end that I didn't get off all the way. But at least we know that now, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Might lose a little bit here, but it's all number 2 anyways. So some yards may call this angel hair, but yard I go to, it doesn't. Just throw it all in with the number 2. So, I'm hoping to get at least 3 pounds. Would be nice to get out of here. Make a nice 3-pound bar, something like that maybe. We'll see if somebody gives us an idea. Maybe somebody will give us an idea. All right, and then the leftover deal on that, of course, is metal. So that's that for those. And like I said, though, it's still a power board, even though he took the copper off. There might be some other doodads and what have yous on here that people collect, you know, like the tantalums and stuff like that. So they're on there. You want to pluck them off. I don't know enough about it, and it comes down to a time thing, I guess. I wouldn't even know what to do with them if I got them. So, all right, this is the 220 part where the cord hooks into the machine. Don't really see how to take that apart well, so it's going to get the Sledge-O-Matic too. All right, so she wanted to put up a little bit of a fight, but basically it's because you got to knock these rivets out from the inside, outside, whatever way you want to do it. But I'm happy that we did that because there's some big chunks of brass in here. So, which will come in handy. I mean, heck, I don't know what that is. We'll have to check that. But so far, I mean, that outlet's a giver, ain't it?
Yeah.
All right. All right, for this particular one, remember, take all the screws out from the outside. It was just these 2 screws here. Take that apart. And now I filed the other ones, so this should be the same, which we'll go through, but that's brass also. Actually getting quite a few pieces of brass out of these. Yeah, that definitely, whoo-wee. Okay. That was, so it was more of a plug issue. Let's do it quick. Yep, brass. So, all right. All right, now these outlets, they just had 2 screws in the back. And they look brass, but they are not. So that stinks. Peel that little outside cover off. Now, remember, you got your steel there, a little piece there, but side here, I mean, there's 8 of them. So I know it's not much, but every little piece is going to count in this one. Because there's really not that much. So, all right. Okay, so to get you caught up on the wire, there's 1.2 pounds of what my yard would consider number 2 wire at $2 a pound. So, but we will be stripping that for the next video. I just wanted to show you guys how much actual wire was in there, insulated number 2. So, all right, now on to the breakers. Now, it's just like a house breaker. Besides, you know, there's a screw here, but if you just stick your screwdriver down there, these come right all off. Okay? And we'll get to one of these here real soon. Oh, hey. There's an actual, wow, okay. Wow. So those bars are copper down in there. That'll make up for some things. And that's metal. So here, hold on. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Let's check it out. Let's hope that's all there is to it. Well, that's nice, huh?
Yeah.
Make up for some of it. Yeah, metal. Okay. Now that's aluminum, which there isn't very much. I wonder if that's a silver coating on there. I said this, it's all number 2 to me, but you can see the copper in there. So that's actually nice. We'll just throw that in the pot. Yeah, I bet you that's silver coated. You see how it's kind of got that patina to it? So there's just a little thin silver coating on it. You know what? I'll put that. We got a little jar for all the silver coated stuff, so we'll put it in there. We won't put it in the melt. All right, now as far as the breaker, if you take, you get a punch. Learn this from Romantic. I used to just bash them apart with a hammer, but it made it a little bit more simpler. Take a punch, and you knock out all the, well, not that part. Where did we start here? Okay. Just knock all those little rivets out of there. Hopefully I'm not losing anything good right now. Alright. So after you do that, you just gotta sit there and just pull it apart. Ooh. Yeah, so alright, so we already know that's magnetic. We know that spring's magnetic. Alright, what do we got here? Cutters are magnetic too, do you see that? Alright, we know that's probably garbage. That there. That's got a silver contact on it, you see that? Alright, so we'll put that in that jar. Alright, there's a little, actually turn it. Excuse me. There's a little, copper wire in there, excuse me. Got a frog in my throat. That's clean. Plastic. Now we'll go through. That part's magnetic. That part's magnetic. That screw. This is what holds the wire in the breaker. That's aluminum. Alright, so take your little cutters. Cut that. And see, I'm going to file this. I'm going to find out right now what these are. They're not magnetic. Oh, they're brass. Very, very well. Oh, you can see the brass right there in that one. You see that in there? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, so we'll take this screw out. Now we're going to melt this stuff down. You know it doesn't matter if the metal's in there or not because it'll float to the top, but might as well clean it up, right? Yeah. And we'll finish cutting that little copper wire off and another piece of brass. So we got that many more left to go. Okay, well, this took an hour to get to this point, and I think once you, oh hey, I forgot. The one parts that I said were brass, they are brass, but it's the other side of the silver contact. So those came out of the breakers. So I took them out of the equation to put them in the old jar. But this, what a heartbreak this was. But we started out with the overall, it weighed 32 pounds of steel, which was $2.88. But we got a pound of copper wire, number 2, which is $2. And then the low grade boards it was a half a pound of them. It turned out to be 19 cents. After scrapping out, I should start with that. After scrapping out, you're still left with $2.16 worth of steel, which 24 pounds. Number 2 copper wire, pound and a half of all the number 2 copper, so that's $3. Silver contacts, have no clue. Probably not worth, for me, they're not worth messing with, but I got buddies that mess with them, so save them for them. The brass, which was a surprising thing, out of all the plugs and all that stuff, I mean, it was a pound of brass. So that's $2.80. Now, these are all prices from my yard. I can't say stuff from other stuff, some from other places. And then there's a half a pound of aluminum for a whopping 30 cents. So total, yeah, right now we're sitting with $8.34, which you subtract the total of what we started with at $2.88, and you're looking at a whole whopping profit of $5.57. Well, if it wasn't for melting the stuff down and everything, I can see why they were getting ready to throw this in the steel dumpster. Because when the electrician boss told me, he goes, "Yeah, you guys fried that turtle," and I looked at him, and he just took one look at me. He goes, "Yes, you can make a YouTube video out of it." So, but We got one price on here though, you know, the fun of scrapping. That's priceless. So let's just add that part into the batch. But no, I can see why they were just going to throw it right in the steel. I mean, you're talking an hour's time. I haven't even stripped the wire yet. That should take another, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes to strip all that in my stripper. Maybe less. I don't know. But that would turn it into, that would turn that pound. But of course, you need to subtract the plastic off of it. I mean, where do you get back 2/3 of it? Maybe. I don't know. But you're looking at $3.40 for that wire stripped. So it's a little bit of a hike, but of course you're losing the weight of the casing, blah, blah, blah. So, man, I hope you guys have had a good couple of months, and I hope you had a great week, and you have a great weekend. And next week, please have a great week. We hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll melt this stuff down here hopefully as soon as possible. Thank you, and have a good week.